Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mr. BuildWealth. I'm back at it again, here to share information and resources that can help you get started with building wealth. And before I get started, I want to, as always, punch in my website because you might have some questions that I might be able to answer, or you might just be curious about what I'm into and some of the things that I speak about. And feel free to check out the blog section on my website. There's a lot of good information that you might be able to use for your own benefit. And if you want to connect and go a little deeper, fill out the contact us section and I'd be more than happy to catch up with you. All right, so for this session, I'm calling it Chinatown. And I was inspired this morning. I was actually out on my balcony and there was an Asian man or some Asian men. They were delivering food to, I'll just call them my neighbors. They're across the street. And so I know there's an elderly Asian lady who lives in one of the units. And so the gentleman gets out of his truck and I see him greet her. And it just got me thinking about like the Asian community and Chinatown is like specifically, and how I don't know anything about this delivery service, but it was a truck with a whole bunch of food and stuff on there. And it just got me thinking about Chinatown in general. And I think that is the playbook. Like that's that's the model that I wish other communities, and I mean a lot of other communities, could adopt. And I know it's not easy to do what like the Chinese people have done. Like they have a Chinatown in pretty much every major metropolitan city in like the world. Like the world, not just in your state, not just in the United States, North America. I mean like the whole world. You can pop into any country or most countries and you'll see a Chinatown, which is just a community of like-minded people, from the same place. And I take what they do very seriously because I would love to see that be black. Black Wall Street I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that we can't do it again. But it's been so long since black people have been able to build such a community. And we know we've got a lot of issues, and it's not just about money. There's too much for me to really unpack in terms of why, black people can't do this. But I just revel in the Chinatown experience because I live in Oakland and I live, close to downtown. And so when I run through Chinatown. And I'm just in awe. Like, it's all Chinese people. Like, they have a library. They have the banks. And it's crazy because the banks who want to come in there, like, they have to change their signs. Like, it's like, you're going to speak our language if you want our money, if you want our business. I would say prior to the pandemic, on any given Saturday, like, it is jam-packed in Chinatown with people supporting their own. Like the streets are crowded, they're busy, the markets, and it's all people who look the same. And I yearn for this. Like, I know this could be a thing that black people could do. Like, I know there are certain communities in this country where they have, certain parts of town that they may operate in. But like Chinatown's a different vibe. Like, they control that. Those blocks are contained for Chinese people. But you see the level of support that comes into play with Chinatown, and it's something that continues to inspire me to want to help people who look like me, of all different shades of brown, because I know that we too can do that. And it's taken, hundreds of years for all these communities to develop, but it's almost like we're too afraid to try again. Like the Black Wall Street thing, I enjoy reading and watching documentaries about what black people as a community did. And yes, we know white people destroyed shit, but it's almost like we're so afraid of it getting destroyed again that we don't even try. And I think that's the hard part for me to grapple with, is that we're still alive, we're still vibrant, we have this education, now we have technology, and yet we're still afraid to do it. But yet we see a Chinatown and you see it still exists. Like, it stands the test of time. I know there's probably conflict with developing any I'll say community, but somehow, some way, the Chinese people figured it out. Like they're all in alignment with, hey, here's what we got to do. And it's probably, I just assume, this is what my brain, I assume there's just like a checklist. Hey, we're going to have a part of a city and we're going to duplicate this model in cities all across the world. And I just think there's like checklist that the ancestors, their great ancestors said, here's this checklist. And, every generation should do something a little bit different to add on to our dominance. Like I think meetings like that happened hundreds of years ago or thousands. And then the people who picked up the checklist just kept saying, this is pretty good. Let me add one more thing. This is pretty good. Next generation. Let me add one more thing. And it became this generational game of how much more can we do to sustain our community, but also keep evolving. They keep evolving. For some reason, Chinatown stay intact. Yes, we know businesses open and close all the time, but you know who fills in those voids in Chinatown? More Chinese people. Isn't that weird? Or is it not weird? Like the fact that their restaurants close down, like a Chinese restaurant can close down in Chinatown, and then another Chinese restaurant will open up in the same space. I don't think people understand like how they just turn their dollar around within their community. I'm always in awe. Like I just hope that in this lifetime, I will connect with enough people who understand community for real, because Chinatown is the example. Like them, love them, hate them, I don't give a damn. But the shit is working. And we can keep arguing with each other and saying one thing is better than another. But that is the blueprint. And so as I embark on my journey of disrupting generational poverty, like that speaks to me in what I would love to see, where I show up in a town. I know I can go to the black part of town or that black, like, and I know that I don't have to worry about anything because I'm with my people. I don't have that luxury right now. And we may have small pockets of this in certain metropolitan cities in the U.S., but when I think of large scale and grand types of things that we could do, we're not doing them. And it's partly because we're so combative around what we should or shouldn't be doing, when we just can't come to an agreement about what we should do. There are certain things that every community needs. And if you don't realize this, then just you sleeping. But you need a grocery store because we got to eat. You need a bank or a financial institution. Like you probably need one of those. There's usually a place of worship. There are schools, so we have to have education. And then we're going to have some industry of some sort. But every solid Chinatown or community like a Chinatown has those pillars. Financial institution, because we got to deal with the money. We got to educate our people at various levels, the young to the old. We have to have a place of worship. We know religion is very important to us. That spiritual connection. It's all these. Just go through a China. You'll see the same stuff. You'll see all the same stuff, and it's just been duplicated over and over. So I want to challenge people to do more as a collective, just like Chinatown. Maybe it's just within your family, and this is one of the efforts that I actually try to ask of people, to see if I can get a group of y'all to come together. Like, I love helping my individual clients and helping them achieve their goals, but I don't think it's okay for just you to be successful in your family. Like, bring everybody else along. And yes, everybody's not going to be at the same level, but that's irrelevant. The idea is, can the collective, like the collective, be bigger than the individual? And what I find is that it can't in some regards. People just don't want to share. Like we don't have abundance. It's crazy the shit people tell me about what they won't do, and then they complain about what they don't have or what they want to see. It's scary to me because the answers are literally right in front of us, and yet we keep going the other direction. It's like my clients who, when I tell them what they should be doing, they're like, nah, I'm going to go do this. I'm like, great, go do it. But you're not going to achieve your goals not taking this sage advice that I'm giving you. And I wouldn't be giving it to you unless you had told me some information. So you're telling me what you want. I'm offering a solution or a pathway, and then you still go the other way. That just means you think you are bigger than me as the expert. And if so, I'm going to wish you the best. And if it works out for you, great. And if it doesn't, that's great too. I don't even care at that point. I did my part. But I want us to continue to try to work together to, form investment clubs. And I don't care what you invest in, but invest together. If you invest together, your few dollars goes a lot further because it's your few dollars, your friend's few dollars, your cousin's few dollars. That's how you can do things. Like, I don't think people in Chinatown do it by themselves. There's always going to be some exceptions to the rule, right? There's somebody who maybe just was born into wealth, came to, Oakland and set up shop, and then they didn't really need a lot of help. But I don't think that's really true for most of them. The level of community is so strong in Chinatown that, like, if anybody can tell me that they've seen another type of business who's not like Chinese show up, I would love to see some examples. And unless you marry into that community, I don't think you're going to get in there. Call it racist, call it what you want, but like, I don't see black people setting up businesses in Chinatown. I don't see white people. I don't see Indian people. I don't see Hispanic people. Like, I don't see other people and other cultures setting up shop in Chinatown. And if you are aware of a Chinatown that does that, please let me know. Oop, did I lose everybody? All right, I'm back. I think the Chinese people are just very intentional what they want. They're very clear. There's no wavering. There's no, I'm not sure. It's like, no, here's what we're going to do. And we're just going to keep doing it. And then we're going to tell all of our family and our friends that here's the blueprint. And then you're not going to mess this up. That's what I see. Again, if I'm wrong, if I'm off here, please let me know. But when I check to see like the level of connectedness, like Chinatown is the definition. Like anything to do with like working together, connectedness, just there should be Chinatown right next to it. So there's a taqueria and a Chinese plaza. Yeah, you'll see a few. So here's what I'll say, man. You'll see there's always an exception, right? But generally speaking, you just don't see other types of businesses in a Chinatown. It may be close by. Like Chinatown's on this block, and then they own that place where the other person set up business, but it's not like in that vicinity. So we're going to see some exceptions to it, but I just want us to do more. Like what I hear from my clients is kind of the same thing. I want to do well, for myself. First off, I want to do well for my significant other if they have one. And then they always say that I want to do well for my family. And I hear those three all the time. And it should be in that order. Take care of yourself. Then you can be a better service to your significant other and your family. And that's how it should go. And then you can like get out into your community and do more. So I'm helping people with that kind of first step on their journey. Let Mr. BuildWealth help you get your shit together. Because then I know you'll be a better husband, a better wife. You'll be a better parent. You will be thinking about legacy. You will do things and you won't keep making these sorry ass excuses about why you cannot do them. And then you can go do even more stuff in your community. I don't have the blueprint to Chinatown, but I think that if they were to watch this and say, yep, that brother's right. We're not telling him the secret sauce. We're not telling him the recipe. We're not telling him, but we ain't saying he wrong. Because all I'm seeing is the same process and systems be duplicated in multiple areas across this world. So you mean to tell me you can't figure it out just within your household? Look, man, I'm not saying this is impossible, but I feel like it will forever remain that way until more of us get our financial houses in order. That's the answer. Until we understand how important money is, and when people give you all these other excuses, they're usually broke. Only broke people and poor people say money isn't important. Just so you know. The people who have a lot of money, at some point it became not about the money, but it always was about the money. I wanted to be rich and famous. I wanted to have all these clients. I wanted to do something for the money. And then at some point it was like, got that done on my list. Got that done. Uh, yeah, great comment here. Just it's business. It is business. That's it. There's a plan in place, and the plan gets executed. Now I'm talking about Chinatown, which is an establishment in of itself, but think about you as the individual. You have to have some of these beliefs and values like within you. Like you have to exude like wealth. Just exuding it, just thinking about it, just doing some of the things and getting in the habits. Get in the habit of doing more, and then you'll see how this thing will play out for you. But I'll continue to be in awe of Chinatown until I can see something similar for black people. Like I'm just going to be in awe until I see enough people who look like me. Again, all shades of brown. You're welcome. But I know we can do this. And I'm not afraid of somebody coming to get us because we're going to get lawyered up. We're going to have arms. I mean, y'all think I'm crazy. When you have shit to protect, you get guns. You have attorneys. You get insurance. Like that's what protects all your shit. Like I know people don't want to hear these things, but this is the reality that we live in. If you tell yourself anything else, you're lying. I know what's happening. I hear these stories from these communities, and I just want to do my part to again, share this information and resources. I just want to share it. I want to see what you will do with this information, because I'm going to keep giving it to you, and I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep trying to convince people, persuade them, whatever you want to call it. Like, I'm going to keep trying, but you're not going to say that my actions and what I'm doing isn't genuine, because you can check my track record. So if you think I'm just out for money, all right, you lost that one. But you can see I'm trying, and so I don't regret how I am beginning to attack the marketplace with these types of sessions, but also too some of this social media stuff and how people sometimes you just got to draw attention to yourself. Sometimes it won't be positive, but if people start talking about you, you end up getting more business. It's the strangest thing. I hate that we live in a society where the negativity is what sells and gets people to come to you, because when you're positive and giving a positive message, it's the hardest thing in the world for people to come to you. It's the hardest thing. Like I've been a stand-up guy trying to do it the right way, or what I think to be the right way. But some days I just think about going all the way ratchet and acting a plumb fool, and then watch people judge me, talk about me, but I'm going to end up trending. Like I think about those things, but I'm like, nah, the BuildWealth movement isn't trying to do that. The BuildWealth movement is thinking about how can we do more Chinatowns. Like I think about it. I love the crazy shit that goes on all the social media platforms. But for the life of me, I just can't succumb to some of that nonsense, because that's not going to help me as a business owner. That doesn't help my brand. It'll get me noticed, but maybe it's short-lived, and then I will always have to keep doing some dumb shit to get your attention. So, I'll keep figuring it out. I'll continue to evolve, but I want to see more of us thinking like this Chinatown mentality, where we keep stuff to ourselves, our dollars circulate within our respective communities, whatever those communities may be. But yes, ultimately, I would love to see a lot more. We can call them Black Wall Streets, Blue Town, Black Town, Nigga Town. I don't care what we call it. I just want to have this life to where I can go to any city and know that there's a part of town I can just go hang out and be comfortable. Where I know when I go into the lounge, they're going to play hip hop music and have certain types of brown liquor or whatever liquor you're into. Like I fantasize about these types of things, and I'm just gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep working with individuals, with groups, with families, and just to say, wouldn't you love this? Because if I fantasize and dream about it, I know you do too. So I'll say this, look, Chinatown is alive and well, and Chinatowns will remain vibrant long after I'm gone and you gone. They're gonna be here forever. So let's try to do what we can to produce more of these, but for like black people. That's what I want. I want more of us, but if we don't start with ourselves personally, with our personal finances, we can't do any of the stuff that I've been talking about during this Chinatown, session. So as I'm wrapping up, I share a lot about what I witness, and I've been doing so recently with I call them my diary entries because that's what they were at the time. But it's my BuildWealth observations on YouTube, and just take a listen. I'll call them observations because I've observed a lot in my time in financial services, and I just want to keep sharing what I'm hearing. And if you take a listen, they're all relatively short, like less than 3 minutes, like just short clips, stories about me, clients, people I interact with. And it's all real shit. Like, it's just stuff that I have experienced because I know you can relate to something that I'm sharing a story about. If not you directly, there's somebody very close to you, maybe in your house, who has said something or done something that I mentioned on one of these Build Wealth observations. So check out the link in my bio. Take a listen, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff you do on YouTube. Because I'm going to keep giving y'all the information to see what you will do with it. And I hope that if you see fit to reach out to me and connect with your financial planning needs, I'm here for you. Like, I'm not going to run away. I'm going to try to help you to the best of my ability. And maybe I play a very small role in the grand scheme of your financial plan. And that's okay with me because I got to get you past these hurdles. I got to get you, over that wall, because right now you're stuck and you're doing nothing but fronting. You full of shit. That's what most people are so full of shit that they can't get out of their own way. So deal with the fear and embarrassment. Deal with, if you've missed out on some deals or investments, so what? It's in the past. Let's move forward. We can always dwell on what could have, would have, or should have happened. But I don't have time for that. Mr. Bill Wealth wants to help you move in one direction, and that's forward. So appreciate y'all tuning in. I will catch you all next time around.